Welcome back, everybody. We're back again with another one of these mod videos that everyone keeps asking about because they want to know if there's any new mods that I recently added. And of course, yes, there is. If you know me, you know that I like a lot of mods for Don't Starve Together, as I think that they add some cool stuff to the game, especially basically giving you a lot of quality of life things. So let's go ahead and quickly talk about them. Of course, this is December 2022, so the previous mod video is still relevant, but some of the mods might no longer be there. So let's go ahead and talk about what has been updated for the client mods and the server mods and explain to you what they are. Before we get started, my name is All Fun and Games. I stream every day on Twitch TV twice a day, and I also do fun little videos here on YouTube, and I do stream on YouTube as well. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And of course, in the future, if you want to see me showcase a specific mod, please post down below, and hopefully this helps you out. Client mods are for things that only you will see and only will help you, whereas server-side mods will be for anybody that joins the server that you are hosting. So let's go ahead and talk about client mods first. Showcasing once again Action Queue Reborn. If you want to go through the process of chopping down or picking up a bunch of items without having to basically hold spacebar the entire time, Action Queue Reborn is essentially the mod for you because it does essentially that and a million times other things. Admin Scoreboard gives you the options to basically have admin commands to basically kill, revive, go into God mode, etc. by just one click of the button without having to type in commands. Combined Status Mod gives you essentially all the things that you need in the top right corner to tell you, hey, what's your hunger, what's your sanity, what's your current temperature, etc., basically by showcasing it all in a separate little category. Craft Pot Mod will tell you what you're about to craft inside the crock pot without pressing the button to do so and basically guessing what you're going to end up with. Nautical HUD and Rosette HUD and any of the HUD mods basically change the layout and how things look, essentially giving a kind of more, I guess, appeal or look to the HUD that's normally around your little hotbars inside of Don't Starve Together when you're playing. Geometric placement lets you place things on a very nice little pattern that can be easily manipulated by pressing the B key or whatever hotkey you decide to choose, and essentially just making things look a lot prettier and more organized in your base. Hide Stuff mod and Idea Testing mod are basically the same idea. Essentially what they do is they go through the options and Don't Starve Together, and you can kind of see how many different things that you're able to disable. Whether it be things from turning off or getting rid of sounds in game or lightning effects or things such as that. Both of these mods are really essential for essentially turning off features that might annoy you. For example, I have the Idea Testing mod for disabling the shadow effect when I'm insane and the shadow monsters are about to attack me. I don't like that, and I don't like the lightning, so these do help to turn that off to kind of reduce my headaches every now and then. Considering I do play DST a lot, I don't really want to see lightning and flashing on my screen as often as it happens. Modular color cubes has replaced the regular color cube mods that I used to have before, essentially just giving the color cubes from Hamlet and or Shipwreck to whatever game you like. More Players mod is pretty straightforward. It allows you to have up to 64 players in the game by just a click of the button. And Show Cooldown Time is for the timer for Wanda that will showcase until the clocks are ready to be reset. Show Nicknames, pretty straightforward. Will show anybody's nicknames inside the server. Warthog's Quick Heal lets you basically press a single hotkey. I have mine set to R for quick healing. As Warthog, he'll just drop souls right away. Critter Pet Mute, pretty straightforward. It'll mute any pets that are inside the game that people decide to join in. Don't Starve Shipwreck. This is an old mod that needs to be removed. Unfortunately, it's no longer supported. Minimap HUD. I do use it every now and then, but basically it sets a little minimap here, and then essentially you don't have to press M every time to see. I don't use it that often because I find it distracting, but it is a cool little tool to have. Sorting tool, I don't use it anymore, but it will auto sort your inventory and also the chests that are around you by click of the button, whatever hotkey you decide to choose. Super Moggles is a new mod that I use, which essentially when you use the Moggles, it's not going to cause any issues where basically if you don't really like having the Moggle appearance with like the shininess and the brightness and all that stuff when you're in the caves or whatever, it will give you a general color cube that makes it look nice and not too hard on the eyes. The UI Drag Zoom mod is a new mod that I recently have not showcased or made an actual video about, but basically what it lets you do is drag around any of your HUDs around. So if your health bar is over here and you want it to be over here, you can drag it around and save wherever it is. Of course, when you reset Don't Starve Together, it will reset to a different default location, but while you're playing DST anyways, you can drag it wherever you like. I also had them recreate a new setup so you can actually move the hotbar for your crafting menu over to the right side. So I'm about to test that out, and I might make a video on that shortly. Wormhole icons has now been updated to wormhole icons and custom colors, which essentially lets you make your wormhole specific colors, so green and green, so you know what wormholes you're going into, so where you're going to end up on the other side. Pretty useful. I like it a lot. Let's get into the server-side mods, as server-side mods are essentially what everybody sees in the server, and there's a lot of them. Add Shovel lets you basically shovel up anything in Don't Starve Together that you normally can't. Reeds, cactus, etc., etc. Very useful. Some people find it cheaty. I love it a lot. Chaos Tricks is one of the mods that lets people interact with your game. I haven't actually showcased this yet. I don't know why, but I'm going to shortly. So yeah, it lets people in Twitch interact and cause chaos in your game, basically spawning beargers or anything that you could ever imagine, but also help you in the game too. I play with it every day. I love it. It's a great mod. Global Positions lets anybody on the server see each other and sharing positions of where you might be located, offering pings, and all that other cool stuff. Essentially just gives you a way of seeing players on the server, which I was, having to be like, where are you? I can't see you. I don't know where you're at. Inside mod is essentially your mod that is all in one. It'll tell you everything you need to know. When things are about to spoil, when things are about to break, how many more uses you have left on certain items, and pretty much anything that you would ever want to know. When bosses are about to spawn, how long until hounds are about to attack you, etc., etc., etc. It's basically your all-in-one mod. It supplies a lot of stuff. It is a pretty beefy mod, so if you do decide to use this, I might be a little bit leery because sometimes it can cause a little bit of lag. But if you can support it, the Inside mod is a great mod to have, as it gives you literally everything you need to know about little items inside of Don't Starve Together. Lazy Furnace mod essentially lets you pretty much have a furnace that you can cook things inside of, basically putting a stack of monster meat without having to sit there and press click on it 40 times. You put an entire stack inside of it, which I think should actually be built into Don't Starve Together, but maybe they don't really want to do that. You can also shove a thermal stone in there and quickly cook it up to get it back to basically where it needs to be for wintertime, instead of having to sit next to the furnace for 5 or 10 seconds. No thermal stone durability, pretty straightforward. I don't approve of thermal stone durability, so I use this mod because I don't think that a rock should just eventually just disappear. Simple health bar Don't Starve Together will actually give you a little tiny health bar above any enemies that you decide to attack in DST. Very useful for knowing when something's about to die. The Architect Pack I recently showcased on a actual mod video, and it was probably one of the best mods I've ever used. It literally has everything you can ever imagine. If you've ever want to play and put down shipwrecked tiny little items around, you can go ahead and do that now, because this mod showcases and presents anything from the Gorge, Forge, anything that you can imagine. If you want to make your mega base look even more mega, this Architect Pack will basically give you everything you need. So it's essentially just like a mod that'll give you a lot of different perks where you can put down different flooring, different tile. You'd have to try it, but it basically gives you a ton of cosmetics that you need, and also adds some other cool things, like it adds like shipwrecked birds to the map and when you spawn in and stuff like that too. So a lot of cool things. Very well thought after mod. Canucks did a great job at it, so huge shout out, because I really like this mod a lot, and I know a lot of people do as well. Tropical Experience does let you play Hamlet and Shipwrecked, although there is a more stable Island Adventures that recently got released that features probably down below. You'll see in a second that I will showcase as well. Tropical Experience is the only mod right now that lets you play Hamlet together. It is kind of a pretty buggy mod, so be a little bit cautious. I've went ahead and tried to make it as stable as possible, but no matter what I do, the mod seems to be causing issues. However, Hamlet together seems to be somewhat the only way that we can play it right now. But yeah, so if you want to play Hamlet together, or if you want to play Shipwreck together, this is a mod that you can test out. Uncompromising mode is one of probably the coolest mods that I've ever seen. Essentially, it takes everything that you've always wanted in a challenge on Don't Starve Together and puts it into a giant mod. So if you are looking for a challenge, this mod is essentially for you to basically play and challenge yourself in Don't Starve Together as if you basically started playing the game all over again. It adds things like new bosses, new boss types, new boss attacks. If you've ever wanted to fight a tree guard and have a very bad thing happen to you, go ahead and try to do so. Surviving the winter is almost impossible. It just adds a lot of cool things to it, so give it a shot if you really want to go hard mode. Wormhole markers, unfortunately I no longer use this because I use the other one for my personal one, but yes, this is another mod that I enjoy using every now and then when the other one decides to act up. Achievement mod and levels, I no longer use this mod anymore because it seems to be a little bit buggy and laggy, but it basically gives you achievements to do. It'll say, go ahead and get a shovel, and then when you do so, you'll get a star, which you can pump in to make yourself better, and basically like you would in an MMO, essentially. API Gem Core is needed for Island Adventures, which I will showcase in a second. Hollowed Forge lets you essentially play the Forge, and I believe as of right now, the Reforge is all you really need in order to do this, but it'll let you play a kind of a Halloween version of the Forge. Island Adventures, also, if you've never played the Forge before, it's essentially a little dungeon that you go into and fight bosses. When you go into Island Adventures, this is what I mentioned before, it lets you play a multiplayer version of Shipwrecked. So if you ever wanted to do that, I would suggest trying it out. It's really good and very fun. Lambert is a mod that I installed a while ago, never got rid of. It's basically bringing a character from another game that is now obviously not being used by me, but nonetheless, if you like Cult of Lamb, go ahead and try this mod out. No ground and snow, pretty straightforward. It removes snow from the ground. Reforge, I just mentioned about that, how the Forge essentially gets put into being used again, and you're able to go into the dungeons and fight and have fun things and try your luck again, and also up the difficulty forever and ever and ever. And we've done this on multiplayer hard mode, and it's very, very fun. Set piece config revisited essentially adds a set piece or gives you the options to add all the set pieces and don't starve together, whether it be the dev graveyard, the retraps, etc, etc, etc. This mod will let you have everything, all that you've ever wanted. Show Me mod is a small version of the Insight mod, so if the Insight mod is ever causing you issues, you can always enable the Show Me mod, which will essentially do the same thing, but kind of like in a smaller version. Starving Floor Revamped is a kind of like the Forge, or a beginning of the Forge, where it basically starts you out in a small arena and you're forced to fight things like spider queens, deerclops, and things like that just get thrown at you continuously until eventually you either die or complete all the levels and eventually win. And the Willow Starving Floor is another version of that. They're just two separate things. They offer different compatibility. I think as of right now, the Willow Starving Floor is the only one that it works. But once again, it's only on my list because I recently used it. I haven't had a chance to actually unsubscribe from them because I like to support mods that I actually eventually like. But, you know, keep in mind, the ones that are starred are the ones that I use all the time. So those are the ones that I would recommend. None other than that of course I haven't tried or might be on the mod shop that I haven't had a chance to take a look at. There are so many other cool mods out there, but here's other ones that I'm currently using right now. I know it's a lot to take in, but nonetheless, if there are some mods on here that you have questions about, please feel free to ask about them in the comments, and I'd be more than willing to answer any questions that I can. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one, which will be in the middle of next year as I upgrade or downgrade some of the mods that I currently use. So I'll see you then. Thanks again for watching.